looked at the report this morning, and I'm wondering, am I looking at the right report?
What's that?
This is,
Oh, the results? Yeah, you did
Yeah.
the right one.
well, last I talked to you, didn't even have a boat.
I didn't. But I'm a boater. And I was fishing with Charlie in the back seat, so there were two boaters in his boat.
Yeah.
So I'm a boater, so that's where I ended up.
Well, not too shabby to
Not-
start off with. What, 15 fish?
Yeah. Yep.
Got number one slot there.
Yeah. Yeah, Charlie put me on some fish and I caught them.
Well,
Hey, that's always the trick. Getting me around fish, I can catch them. It's just getting around.
Yeah.
It's the trick.
well, he did pretty good too, I think.
Yeah,
I can't see him on there, but
he's up in the boaters. He's about fifth or sixth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't catch as many, and he fussed about it. But I just let him fuss. So I don't want anything I can do about it.
Well, no, not much. Well, you have a little sympathy for him, you know, but, well, that's phenomenal. I mean, it must have been a good day then.
It was a good day. It was.
Now what part of the lake? This was
This was-
LFA, so.
No, this was it was the LFA.
Yeah.
And we fished Little Caney.
Little Caney.
And we were back up about halfway back in it, right out in the middle, just off the creek channel.
Back up in this area here?
Well, probably a little
A
further.
little
down.
further back up
Yeah.
in the backside there?
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, we were halfway from the marinas to the very back. So
Oh, okay, so
way
you back up along in here
Yeah, we
somewhere.
were way back up in there. And
Well, shoot.
started off in the morning throwing a what's the nice word for it? Finesse rig.
Finesse rig.
Yeah, the CS rig with a swimming yum dinger on it. Watermelon red in color. And I caught my first three in about 5 minutes. I mean, they liked it.
Wow.
Popped it good. They weren't up. They have been, the past 2 or 3 weeks, we've always been catching them throwing right up on the grass, right up on the bank.
Right, yeah.
And coming out. I turned around and threw out deep. And that's where I picked, where we started catching them. So we concentrated on fishing the creek channel out where it was deeper. Now, deep up in there is, you're talking 10 feet to the bottom of the creek, 12 maybe. But the watermelon red worked consistently. I finally put on a cotton candy, and it also worked, but I think the watermelon red worked better. But trick worms, that little swimming dinger,
Yeah.
and of course I caught several on cotton candy fluke. But it was just a good day, a good pleasurable. I needed it. Let's put it that way.
Well, you've had some problems of late, and I'm glad to see you come across that.
Help
that
my
day.
attitude.
Well,
Help my
yeah.
attitude, yeah.
So, I mean, they're not letting any water out of the dam of any significance that I can tell off the reports.
Probably just the minimum if they have to let go.
So that day, what was the weather conditions like? It was
Stifling,
stifling.
absolute calm. Every now and then you'd get a little whiff of a breeze or a cloud would go over, but by 10 o'clock it was absolutely miserable. Probably wasn't 80 degrees,
Yeah,
but it was hot.
yeah.
And we were proud to see noon get there. Matter of fact, I don't think we caught a fish after 10 o'clock. When they stopped, they just stopped.
They just turned off.
They were schooling around us, not large groups, but the fish were schooling, and I had nothing that they would take, no rattle traps or anything. We kept throwing at them and had no luck. But there were schools of shad about an inch long that you'd look straight down in the water and they'd sometimes come up to where you could see them. It was almost like a falls floor. It'd just be solid shad.
My goodness.
I mean, you'd wonder why in the world would a fish eat a watermelon candy red plastic worm.
They're tired of eating those shad, I guess.
They want to change in diet, I suppose. Yeah. But anyway, it was a fun day. This week we don't know what's going to happen.
Well, this week's hardcore. So which
Section 1.
Section 1, which is east 1/3.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Right.
And Who you fishing with? I said, let me pull
Well,
up.
I'm not even on the list yet, but I got a call from John Barish saying that Bill Isles' partner had to withdraw, so they're gonna slot me in there with.
This was last week.
That's last week.
That's
yeah.
last week.
That's last week.
And
Bill is set up to fish with Alf Tuggle for this week, so I'll be fishing with Bill Isles.
oh, okay.
We're gonna pre-fish Wednesday. I've already talked to him. He said he knows nothing. Well, that's my strong suit, so hopefully I know
Sure.
something that'll help us. And we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see how it goes. But anywho,
So last we talked with you, you blew your motor out and you found another motor. And how's that going?
they got it on, got it running, but it doesn't idle. It's not idling, so they're sending the fuel injectors in to have them all clean and blueprinted, and that'll be back sometime this week. As soon as they get that back in and they get the motor, as soon as they get it ready to go, I need to pick it up and I'll take it to Lake Fork Fiberglass up at Emory to get a spot. I've got a gator hull on it, and it's got a place where there's a hole in the gator hull. So I've already talked to Randy Langford up there, and he said, bring it on, I'll get it in and out in 1 day or 2 days.
Okay.
So got to get that little bit fixed, and then I'll be back in business.
Well, you talked about maybe swapping it in. Did you talk with them about that?
Yeah, I did, and it was about what I thought it was going to be.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you know how it always is. Yours is never worth anything, and theirs is worth everything.
Right.
Of course, mine is a 2009. I have to take that into consideration. So
Sure.
I'm sure he made me a fair deal, but I just wasn't really willing to pay that much difference, and I come back to the fact that I like the one I've got.
Well, yeah.
I see no reason to replace it. It's bigger than the one I would get. The one advantage you'd have with the newer one is the 4-stroke motor.
Mm.
But I'm still, even though I'm running again, the things I've learned about these HPDI Yamahas and their longevity has not impressed me.
Well,
Apparently,
that was pretty interesting that you were saying that they last, their total life is expected, 300?
300 hours is where they start to have problems with them. I had 1,000 on mine, so I was hoping. I just assumed that's the way they all are. Apparently not. So I may go ahead and, while this one is running, there's nothing wrong with it. I can sell it and order a new 22 Yamaha 250.
Yeah, maybe by 22 it'll come in.
Yeah, that's exactly right. when it gets here, put this one up for sale.
Are they selling 22 your model now?
I think so.
Can you can order 22 right now then?
I think so. Yeah.
You just can't buy one right now.
Yeah,
You can't nobody's got one.
Well, I think Plano may have one or two out there,
Oh, okay.
but they've got a few. They've got a few new boats, but the boat business it's tough right now. I'd hate to have to be making a living doing that because you can't sell them if you can't get them.
Yeah.
You can't even order them. So
Well, are they? Are some of these companies jacking the prices up on them like that? I mean, I've heard of somebody. I don't know if it was. I think it was talking about a car that. The waiting line and all this, and actually people were paying more than the invoice. And he was just going to order one, and that way he knew what he's going to pay for it.
Yeah, that does, from what I hear on TV, sounds like there's a lot of that going on. And I know when I was selling cars, it was not unusual for a real hot item or something that was really scarce to sell for a premium over the sticker price. And PT Cruisers was a classic example. Because when they first came out, they were selling for $5,000-$6,000 over sticker price.
Yeah.
And people were just lining up to buy them.
Right, yeah.
And
That's not the case now.
that's not the case any longer.
Well, I kind of feel like we're in a bubble right now for housing and lumber prices and everything else. And after,
Yeah.
I was actually trying to figure out how that, the prices increases have been on a lot of stuff. And they were saying that a lot of the deal was that there's 2 ports on the west coast over there, one in Los Angeles and one in San Diego, that they can offload, parts and stuff like that. And normally they can unload a ship, at least get in line within a day or two, but
Right.
it was putting them back a week or so, and all these boats were lining up back there, and they were saying that was part of the reason for the shortage of parts.
It could be. When you got a supply chain that's as stressed as ours is, I guess one little pinch in it really messes it up.
Mm-hmm.
Boat prices, I don't know that they're jacking them up. People are willing to buy them, and they're paying sticker price for them in a lot of cases. And but that's just kind of the way the market system works. As soon as you get more boats, the prices will go down.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure, I don't understand, of course, Skeeter could probably build 10 times as many boats as they're building, but they don't have motors to put on them. So you've got things like that are causing problems. You got to get and they're saying it's COVID in Japan. Well, I haven't heard of the COVID in Japan causing that kind of problem. Unless they decided that it was going to kill them and they shut everything off, and they shouldn't have. So who knows? But anyway, if we can get mine straightened out, get me back on the water, back on the water, I will be tickled to death.
Oh, so you're fishing this week. So here's the weather for this week, the predicted weather, and Thursday is gonna be hot and sunny, and just a little bit of wind.
Hopefully that wind actually blows too. The south at 8 would be about right. If we quit at noon, so it'll be probably upper 80s by noon.
Yeah. So y'all go back to fishing later in like September or something?
Yeah, as soon as it cools off enough that you can do it. We don't have a set date. The end of August and the first 2 weeks of September, we just do a TBA for a finish time and decide what the forecast is Monday or Tuesday. Say, okay, we're going to fish till 3 on this day. And then once we switch back, we start fishing till 3 o'clock. And do that until it gets so cold early in the morning that we say, no, we're not going to go out till 8. Give the ramps a chance to thaw out and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And also, there's no point in getting out there at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
When it's 20 degrees.
We got a comment on YouTube this past week. Somebody was asking about, they couldn't find where to get on a bass fin. They were trying to find out how to join Lake Fork Anglers Bass Club. And I just replied back to talk to Bruce Allen.
Yeah.
And I gave him a number. I guess it's the correct telephone number, and if it's not, well, I'll put it up here, after we edit all this. But anyway, if you want, and he was a boater. I think he had a boat, which is good. So
we're short of boaters right now.
So be a good time to come in, and so if you would just call that number and talk to Bruce Allen. He was one of the original founding members of the club, I think, and he can fix you up and tell you where to go or what you need to do. Now, this week, I'm looking at what we got, and ain't got much, but we do have Team Bass Lake Fork Solo on Sunday. And I don't know if there's anything else this weekend on Fork. There's Saturday. Media Bass Saturday. Okay, sure is.
And Team Bass Summer Series, well, that's on Wright Patman, so that doesn't count. Yeah, it's the summer tournaments are kind of thin.
Yeah. I guess Larry does these Victory Bass Club. They do Fork. They're just not doing it right now, are they? Is that what I'm reading here? That
well,
I thought they did a Lake Fork deal.
Actually, you got to see there's
Victory Bass here. Here's Lake. Oh, that's Team Bass.
Yeah.
So it doesn't show up right now. For some reason, I would think they would have one on Fork, but anyway,
he does have a lot of tournaments.
He does. He puts on good tournaments, and at any rate,
I wish I could get back into the night fishing. That's been so long since I've done it. And I'm so conditioned to going to bed at 8 o'clock. I don't know.
Well, yeah, you got there snoring on the fishing hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, that's kind of what we got, I guess, unless you got something else.
No, I really don't. See, there's July 25th. Got Victor Bass. Like they've got a. I don't know whether that's the series.
You talking about that one right there? Okay, yeah, there it is. 25th is.
I don't know if that's the series that's just starting.
Lake Fork Division Evening Series. So there it is on the 25th.
Yeah.
That's like a couple of weeks from now, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like on a Sunday, 2 weeks from now. So anyway, it's coming up. So maybe you get your boat back running and be good to go. Hip coming out all right? Or
Oh yeah, it's getting better.
Along?
It's getting better.
Okay.
Yep. I go out and I walk there every day, and it doesn't like that really, but that's okay. We have to do that to make it gets better every day when you do that. So that's the thing. And I can get up and downstairs. I can get in and out of boats. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
So.
Your wife's glad you're getting to those boats.
Yeah, wife's ready to get fishing.
She's ready to get you out of the house.
She's had enough of me hanging around the house watching TV. She said, "How can you watch TV that much?" I said, "Well, we got a lot of stuff that you watch."
Yeah. All right, well, that sounds good.
Okay.